New Zealanders being hungry for change.
Kia ora, welcome to Not the 6 o'clock news for Friday the 12th of September with me, Laila Harré, leader of the Internet Party and Internet Mana candidate. We launched the details of our free tertiary education policy today, and I'm going to share some of that with you in a moment. But first up, I've been asked by a lot of people to comment on the Greens deciding a week out from the election to talk about the possibility of working with National. Ever since the start of the year, it's been very clear that the election result will be determined by turnout. All year we have worked to raise awareness, and early voting is already 2.5 times higher than in 2011. All that can be said about the polls is that the situation is very volatile. No one would ever have expected that John Key's leadership would itself have become such a central election issue. He and National are on a downward trajectory. Undecided voter numbers are up. On Monday, the moment of truth at the Auckland Town Hall will give us even more knowledge about the working of the government. This is the time for progressive parties to foster hope that voting will deliver change and that we will work together to make those votes count. As for giving legitimacy to a possible national dominant government post-election, we need only look to the Māori Party to see how that pans out. Far less has been delivered than promised, and poverty, homelessness and unemployment among Māori has grown to epidemic levels. Internet Mana is very clear. National is on the wrong track, environmentally, socially and economically. If such a government is formed, Internet Mana will expose and oppose it. In my first 3 years in Parliament, I was in the opposition. Along with activists from other countries, we successfully stopped the multilateral agreement on investment, saved the ports of Auckland and exposed National's plans to reduce annual holiday rights. We put paid parental leave on the agenda and built up support to start KiwiBank. Our job was to be relentless in our critique and to build public confidence in alternative policies and public support for the real change that we were able to make in 1999. After dirty politics, the GCSB changes, Nationals pushed to gut the RMA, Bill English's plan to continue with the plan, and so on, a re-elected National government will be very vulnerable to an effective opposition. Our goal is to change the government. We simply cannot afford another term of National, and we will not do anything that strengthens or legitimises their destructive policies. It's a week from the election. It's not the time to be talking about working with National. Now, on to some policy. Today we launched the details of our free tertiary education policy. Here's Miriam Perard, who will be an MP if Internet Mana wins 4.5% of the party vote.
My name is Miriam Perard and I am the Auckland Central candidate for the Internet Party and number 6 on the Internet Mana list. And I am the education spokesperson with my secondary area being social justice and housing. With education and social justice as being my portfolios, of course, our free tertiary education policy is massively exciting for me because I see the problems that the debt that we put onto our students has on our young people as they leave university and they go and they try to start their lives, they try to have families, they try to go into the workforce, and it takes a long time for them to pay off. On average, the debt that students have individually is about $30,000. And it takes on approximately 11 years for them to pay it off. And this debt is stratifying our society, and it's penalising those in our society who want to seek knowledge and they want to gain skills. We all think the free tertiary education policy can be done and it must be done.
Our policy shows how a free education was treated as a higher priority than tax cuts and made one of the top goals of new spending. It could be delivered immediately. We will arrest the growth of student debt. It now stands at over $14 billion and currently affects 725,000 people. Some 15% of students are estimated to live with absolute financial distress. Internet Mana will guarantee fee-free education in our public tertiary institutions. We will scrap the parental means test for the student allowance, making it universal. We will also provide immediate debt relief by increasing the repayment threshold and writing off debt for those on parental leave. Our summer jobs program will create great student jobs to help save for the study year. Free tertiary education does not cost more than user pays. It transfers the cost from individual students and their families to the wider community. Graduates with higher earning power then help the next generation through progressive taxation. Their increased skills improve the productivity and profitability of our businesses. That is the nature of the social contract. To fully fund course fees, introduce a universal student allowance and progressively write off existing student debt would cost less than the amount that National has tagged for tax cuts from 2017. Our policy provides a range of options for funding. You can check it out in detail online. We've had excellent feedback so far. I was particularly happy to get this endorsement from the New Zealand Union of Students' Associations.
Internet Mana has put the issue of free tertiary education at the centre of their political program, identifying it as crucial to eliminating poverty and developing a New Zealand that can be successful socially and economically. We welcome the message that has been traversing around the country now being codified and costed in their policy.
Well, how was that? Apologies for the length of the episode, but we've had a lot to report today. Ka kite anō, good night and stay informed. Aotearoa.